Hello everyone! Greetings from Kharkiv, Ukraine. My name is Svetlana Mucha and I'm the leading matchmaker and dating coach at Diolli.com. Finally, I have beautiful professional psychologist Olesya all to myself, and we can film a few videos for you. Today with Olesya we will touch a very tricky and a very popular topic. We will talk about men in their 50s who are chasing ladies in their 30s. We will talk about pros and cons, and also we will try to determine which type of men in their 50s can actually succeed in dating ladies in their 30s, and for whom it is a fantasy that can't be turned into real life. Olesya, if we're thinking about guys in their 50s, we can understand why they want to date younger. Well, they think that if she is younger, then first of all she will be more attractive and everyone will envy him, and if she is so young and attractive, then probably everyone around will understand how fantastic he is, because this much younger woman has chosen him, so she must know something about him, something special. But let's speak about cons. He is in his 50s, let's say he's 54, and he is chasing a woman who is, let's say, 36.
Or 33.
Yes, let's speak about the age gap of 15, 16 years.
Yes, of course, there are a lot of cons in this couple, because in my opinion every age has some, how to say this, people of different age want to do different things. So when we are at our 20, we want to have fun and life is so fantastic. But when we are in our 40s, we have some responsibilities, and this responsibility, it gives us some
Boundaries.
Yes. So people with age, with getting more responsibility, they have more this in their lives. So we can't compare a person in 55 years, for example, and 35 years old. It's totally two different persons.
I can name the biggest obstacle that we face when a gentleman in his 50s claims he wants to date only a lady in her 30s. Ladies in their 30s are not looking for men in their 50s. So if he is like 54, I can already predict that, for example, we will do like 30 interviews and we will be lucky to find one woman in her 30s who might be open to date him. And yes, like Olesya has mentioned, if she is 36 and, for example, she is never married by 36 and she doesn't have kids, pretty much she is a young woman, and she will think of a guy in his 50s as an old man.
Of course.
If she is 36 but she has been married and, for example, she is divorced and has a child or two kids, it will be a little bit different scenario, because she had different experiences in life and she has a different life situation. And if, for example, she is 36, it doesn't mean though that all single mothers in their 30s are open to date guys in their 50s. No, but at least they will have more in common. In a sense that she has experienced many things, like a divorce, having a kid, and a girl who is 36 and she has never been married, she is a girl. Usually in Russian language there is a difference between a girl and a woman, and sometimes you talk to a lady, she is like 36, but she is a woman. She is divorced, she has two ex-husbands, she has two kids, mortgage, and then you talk to a girl and she's, for example, 38, but she is a girl. She works for a big IT company, she travels, she goes out a lot, and she had this useful energy. She looks very good for her age, so there is a difference. But if we are talking about guys in their 50s, yes, there can be a situation when he is, for example, 53, but he is this well-traveled, very successful professionally guy who knows how to court a lady, and don't forget about power of money. If he is well established, he can afford lots of experiences that other people can't afford, it's one scenario. But if he is 54 or 55 and let's say he's divorced, he has 2 kids from previous relationship and he works as a middle manager, or for example he's a nurse in the hospital and he is 55, he's saving for college for his kids, and a girl who is 36 to 38 and she has never been married, they will be from 2 different opposite planets.
In Ukraine, I want to add, in Ukraine, a lot of girls in their 35, 36 years old, they have a very young parents, and a big, usually, the difference in age is about 20, 22, 25 years old.
Yes, because in Soviet Union,
Yes,
people
so,
usually got married after university.
If she is 35, the very big variety is that her father will be like 55 years old. And in Ukraine, it's not very common to have a boyfriend at the same age as a father.
It's very, very seldom. Well, if the guy is like rich and famous, he had this blue sign on Instagram, his chances to date much younger increase because he is unique. But to claim that in Ukraine it is easy to date someone who is like 15 years younger, that's hard. So the biggest complication that I see is when a guy is, let's say, 55 or 54 or 52, and he claims he's attracted only to women in their 30s. Women in their 30s are not looking for this guy. And it is extremely hard. Usually when we get such a client and we do all the interviews and we hear all the no's from the ladies, and it takes such a tremendous work of the whole team to find those 4 or 5 dates who will be open to the age gap of, let's say, 12 or 15 years. And then the gentleman starts telling that she is a 7, or she is not blonde, or I want her to have blue eyes. Like, this is not the scenario where you can be picky about looks, because your desire to date much younger, to have this big age gap, and 15 years and 12 years, that's a big age gap. It kind of limits, like literally limits to a very tiny pool, to a cup, the amount of candidates who will be open for such an age gap. But let's speak about the scenario. For example, a gentleman has managed to start a conversation with a lady, let's say online, and she is 15 years younger. What type of complications they can face if they start dating each other?
Different interests, first of all, because different generations, they have...
But he can claim that, okay, I love discos, I go to karaoke.
Very good, very good.
I have heard this excuse so many times.
But usually we listen to different music.
You can tell that I love Lana Del Rey. I remember this gentleman. Do you remember him?
Very, very good. That's very good. But you know, it's not about some singer. Yes, so I listen this singer and you too. But it's the type of music. It's a type of films, movies. It's a type of books even maybe that we read, because we grow up in different generations.
I can tell that usually with years we look at our parents and we start to resemble our parents. I'm looking at my grandmother and she is in her 90s, and at my mom who is in her 60s, and my mom starts resembling my grandmother, not by the looks, but I mean by character, by habits. For example, my mom, she's watching lots of news, and in Ukraine, like younger generation, people in their 40s, 30s, 20s, they watch very little TV. Do you have a TV at home?
Yes, we have, but we don't turn it on.
We watch some YouTube there, so usually like we use it for Netflix. When, for example, my daughter wants to watch a cartoon, so I don't watch news that much. Though my mom, my mother-in-law, my grandmother, they watch lots of news and they love talking about it.
Of course, we have phones, so we can get all the information due to phone. And yes, our parents, my father, for example, he watch TV quite often.
I think that sometimes, for example, gentlemen in their 50s, when they go out on dates with younger women and they want to talk about politics, they want to talk about politics in different countries. They
About
think
things that are very important for them.
interesting, and they think that a woman, she should also have these interests, and she
Yes.
gets these vibes that he's just like my dad, or he's just like my boss who is like 20 years older. He has different type of interests.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember one gentleman was complaining to me that this lady who was 15 years younger than he was, that she goes out too often. And the lady, she was 39, I think, and she works for a big IT company in Kiev, and she has friends there, and every Friday they go out. She doesn't have kids, she has never been married.
Why not?
So pretty much, yes, she has good income, she can afford nice places. And he said that, oh, she is very juvenile because, like, you know, she goes to all openings of big restaurants and she goes to watch all those plays and they are expensive, and she doesn't own an apartment. And she later on said that he sounds like her parents because he tried to teach her life on the third date and she didn't want to go out with him again. And with that guy, he really looked good for his age, so they got him matches. But again, his character and his attitude, it was a turn off to women. Also, I have noticed that men in their 50s, not all of course, they like complaining. I don't know why, complaining about their exes, like the ex-wife, complaining about dating market in general.
About life at all.
About life, yes, and all this negative. I don't know, maybe it comes with life experience.
Maybe.
Because every time, for example, I tell my grandmother that I have bought something or we went somewhere and she's asking how much it costs.
Yes,
I always,
the same story.
I split it into 5 and I tell her that, oh, it has costed me like $20 when it didn't. And she starts complaining that it is expensive because
I don't tell.
in the 80s it costed so much less, and same with my mom.
Yes.
I remember I have taken her shopping. I was looking for a gift for my husband and she said that, oh, that much money for a hat. And I tell her that, but a hat costed this much and gloves costed this much. And she said that, no, like it costs like not like this. And she lives still in the prices that were like 15 or 20 years ago.
Union.
Soviet Union is for my grandma. She still remembers ice cream for 1 ruble. So I think also this difference in the generations, it can be such a huge obstacle. Men are not thinking about it. They look at this pretty picture.
Of course, you can exchange your experience. You tell her some story, and she tells you some story, and it can be fun, but for a very short time.
In the long-term perspective, usually, very occasionally, such couples survive because the lady has to be exceptionally mature. She has to have exceptional life experience, and the gentleman has to be exceptional. I think, like Elon Musk is very useful, and he has all these projects. They're doing the new phone, so they want to win over iPhones.
Really?
Yes, there will be a Tesla phone. So I think with that guy, like, he will have the energy and a very creative mind, perhaps in his 80s as well. But with some guys, when they start telling how they spend their weekends and they add that, oh, I'm so useful because like every weekend I go to a new place to have brunch, or I listen to Lana Del Rey. People choose this relationship with the age gap for the wrong reason. They are looking for an age and not for a person. And sometimes I look at such guys and I understand that there might be a lady who would be like 5 or 7 years younger, maybe even 10 years younger, who will be on the same page with him about things. And just like him, she will complain that it is so much more expensive to go out and we should cook at home. But they choose to chase way younger women who have different understanding about money, different understanding about life in general, because she doesn't have to save for college for her kid. So for her, like going out, it's a normal thing to do. Do you want to add something about pros and cons of dating someone 15, 20 years younger in a situation when he is in his 50s and she is in her 30s?
A lot of things we say already. So, I don't know, maybe you have some questions, so you can ask us, and then we will answer you.
I was thinking that men very often underestimate competition in the sense that if she is in her 30s and she is beautiful, she is not a negative person, she is, for example, optimistic, easygoing, she is easy to like, there will be guys in their 30s, in their 40s chasing her, even in their 20s, who want to have this experience of dating an older woman, and you will have to compete with them all. So the fact that you are like 15 years older, it is a disadvantage, not an advantage. You will have to compensate for this age gap. And guys think that, okay, I'm 54 or 55 and she has to be so happy that I'm asking her out. And she's, for example, 35.
And she is not so happy.
No, she goes out on a date and she's concerned about the age gap.
Of course.
And on the first date, she will try to think whether she finds you attractive or whether she feels that you're old. And unfortunately, when the age gap is involved, we tell all our clients that out of 5 ladies, chances are strong that, for example, 2 ladies will turn you down after the first date because they will get these vibes that you are too old. It's a gamble. When the age gap is involved, it's always more complicated. Guys, we hope it was useful, and please share your thoughts in the comments below this video. Usually when we are talking about the age gap, men become very protective, telling that, oh, I'm 52, but I think, I look and I act like if I am 31. So please share your thoughts in the comments below this video. We hope it was useful for guys who can think with their head and who are smart about their choices in love. We want to wish you love. Svetlana Mucha
and Darisa Belichenko,
especially for Diolli.com, and we will jump to the next topic. We will see you soon. Bye.